I'm Craig Baldwin. I'm here at the Maryland Film Festival with Mock-Up Monroe, a experimental feature narrative / documentary. And it's a film about California history, subcultures post-war, having to do with the crossing the paths of the aerospace and the New Age movement. And I'm looking forward to the show. It's late tonight. I've shown here before at the Charles Theater a couple times. I do work with found footage, but I also increasingly am trying to fuse it with live action and trying to use my own material as found footage. Oh! Accident over there. But everybody's okay though. Yeah, so I'm interested in this idea for formal reasons, you know what I mean, to actually be able to cinematically create material that already exists and refers to film history, but also my own narrative gestures. You know, it's more of it's a little bit of a release of the center position of the artist, more of someone who's more of a scavenger and more of a cultural anthropologist, and someone who uses shots like words in a sentence to put together. Sometimes you have to come up with a neologism to describe something, like collage essay or collage narrative, words that I made up. But and other times, another piece of imagery will work better because it'll have a reference to science fiction history, for example. So I prefer doing it that way, but I wouldn't have enough to actually completely tell every detail of my story. So those are the kinds of shots that I create myself. So when they're all in the same bin, so to speak, I can pick and choose. And sometimes it doesn't make so much difference who actually created that shot. You know, I want to be in a position where I'm more of selecting or editing rather than producing or generating. You know, when you shoot, actually, let's put it this way, you know, from a cosmic point of view, when you shoot a landscape, it's really kind of a found location in a way. So I think this distinction between archival found and newly shot is a little bit specious. I like to collapse this. That's what. Okay, you know, everybody can claim they made their own shot. You know what I mean? And that's fine. But that's not my interest in cinema. My interest is more about putting new phrases and sentences together. And I like it when it's mixed like that. It's more convoluted. It's more sophisticated. It's more dense. More nuanced. There's more meaning in it. If I could afford, if people gave me $1 million to make a movie, I probably would. I'd probably be a little confused. I'm not saying I would deny it or reject it, but I'm just saying I'd have to call for another plan. You know what I mean? It wouldn't look like a movie that I typically make. You know what I mean? It'd be another kind of thing. I'd spend it all on archival material probably. Because that's really it's not just to tell another story. You know, a lot of the times those stories are just the same old stories anyway. You know, I say, kind of old wine in new bottles, but I prefer putting new wine in old bottles. In other words, take the old material but organize it in a way where the content is actually different, changing the meaning, and that's at the level of my film attacks. Not to just make pretty pictures, color, or pretty people, but rather take people from film history and place them in a new context. And so I could, like I say, if I had enough money, I could go out and shoot these things. But it wouldn't have the same sense of desperation. It wouldn't have the same sense of ingenuity to be able to take something that wasn't quite set for my narrative and to turn it to my ends. That's what I like about it, is this problem solving.